And we're back.
Uh-huh.
So, yeah, that was Comic-Con in 3 minutes. 50 minutes in 3 minutes.
Yep.
That was fantastic.
If I could have spent 3 minutes there, I'd have been okay.
That was cool. I like that.
Hey, we had a lot of fun with it, man. And I will say, they had live music up there. It was two girls with guitars.
Yeah, two girls. That was cool.
They played Saturday, too. They were there for the entire convention, I'm pretty sure.
So they had an A band?
Yeah, they had a band for the entire convention.
I know a band they probably could have booked. They probably could have booked Spells. Spells would have probably played Comic-Con.
Yeah,
Speaking of Spells, lead singer of Spells sitting on the couch across from us.
Yeah.
We would not have played.
Ladies and gentlemen, comedian Ben Roy is in studio today.
Yeah.
Hey, how are you?
Joining us. Welcome. Thank you for coming, man.
Yeah, thanks for having me, man. Thanks for
buddy.
bringing me to the dungeon. It's pretty amazing.
Hey, Ben, will you jump on that middle mic?
Is it?
That way you're in the middle of the picture, and then
Oh,
I
there
screwed
go.
you.
the mic works a
there
little
we
better,
go.
too.
I
All right.
screwed you on that.
It's all about framing.
Yeah.
You know.
There we go.
Tell me if my posture starts to slump and I migrate towards the bottom of the screen. Let me know. I tend to do that. But,
That's great.
Cool. But yeah, it's good to be here. Thanks
Yeah.
for having me.
Yeah.
Welcome, man.
You just got back from a mini tour with your band.
Yeah.
You just released a new CD.
My
comedy.
stand up. Yeah.
Right. You are a super dad.
Yeah.
Your wife just had a birthday, right? Was it her birthday? No, it's your birthday.
It was my birthday.
It was your
2
birthday
days
2
ago,
days
yeah.
ago.
Happy
yeah.
birthday.
You've had a
to
busy last month.
It's been and then being on the road with stand up, it's been definitely busy, but it's good. Busy is good. I tend to pick at my stitches, you know. So I can totally pick myself apart.
Yeah, I have that idle hands problem.
Yeah, totally. I'm just a real nervous person, so I tend to fill my life with a lot of different things. Not to mention jujitsu and things like that, which I love doing.
Ben trains at Blunt Force, right?
Which is a Helson Gracie Academy, and then I also train as well at Edge MMA and Fitness, doing submission wrestling, which is much more of a wrestling school than. But they do a lot of jiu-jitsu too. I think they just get labeled as a wrestling school because that's what Coach Sheldon was.
Sure.
That's what they're known for more than anything.
But I love it. But yeah,
I have the bug.
Yeah, it's so good, and it's. Did you wrestle?
Yeah.
Before, so you wrestled.
I wrestled from when I was 5 until I was like a sophomore in college.
Yeah, and then did you?
And then I took like a 15-year layoff.
Yeah.
And then I picked up jiu-jitsu.
But that wrestling base must help a ton.
So awesome.
Yeah, because I mean, I don't. That's the thing I like about wrestling and what I've learned so far. I like the mentality of don't pull guard, stay on top, like that kind of a thing. And then if you do get, if you are transitioned to
if you get swept to the bottom,
then at least fight from the bottom, which I like fighting from the bottom a lot. But yeah, it's it's fun, and so I tend to fill myself with a lot of things. I just bought a motorcycle, and I don't know.
Yeah, you've been cruising.
Nice.
Yeah.
You got like a gang.
Yeah, I've got a posse. We're called Road Dogs.
Yeah, Frank isn't Frank in?
Yeah, Frank Guerra and one of my best friends. Well, he is my best friend. I feel like I'm too old to have a best friend. Sometimes I
need
like
a best
friend. Like I've reached that, but he is like I've known him my entire life. We grew up in Maine together, and since we were like 8 years old. I've known him since I was 8, and he lives out here now. He has a son, and so like he's in it. But we just like there's a bunch of us that ride. Our drummer for Spells is a big motorcycle rider. So
You guys heading down to Sturgis in August?
oh no,
Not that kind of motorcycle.
Not that kind of a
Right?
motorcycle. Not American trash.
Oh, I got
Euro
you. You got the
trash
crotch
motorcycles.
rockets. Okay.
No,
No.
Not
Like
even.
more like cafe bikes and stuff
okay.
like that. So I bought a Moto Guzzi and
Nice.
but yeah, more of the cafe style bike, I think. But my buddy chopped up like a Honda 650, and we call it the buzzard because it just farts and smokes. But yeah, so definitely busy, and then trying to sell TV shows and stuff, which we were just.
Yeah, we were talking
Speaking
about
of which,
that.
I was looking up. Last I'd heard anything about Grolix, right?
Yes.
It was. And this is the project with Adam and who's the
Andrew.
other partner?
Andrew.
That's right.
Yeah.
Last I'd seen, I think I saw some news back in April that there was some pilot stuff happening, and I know that this has been coming for quite a while. You guys have been working on Grawlix. You've had that going for the last
For sure.
2-3 years now, haven't you?
Yeah, like I both like we all like writing. I as I get further into this, like I love performing, but writing is amazing, and I love the process of writing. And there's nothing better than just sitting in a fucking living room with your friends and dicking. Oh, I'm sorry.
You're
That's all right.
100% fine.
Okay. I just
He's
feel bad.
completely prepared. We
Well,
always prepare the children before we bring them in, so that they know what they're coming for.
Yeah, well, my son almost
It's their
came
baby's
along.
mamas that we got to worry about.
Oh,
man.
yeah,
They don't-
yeah.
But they
This
don't
has-
watch the show, so
This has Dad's Weekend written all
Oh
over it.
yeah.
until this show's actually contributing to the child support, they won't watch it. So
Yeah.
it's-
But but yeah, the writing part is, I mean, sitting in a room with 3 of your buddies
Yeah.
and just dicking around and coming up with funny ideas.
Right.
So we had sold a show to Amazon for their Prime network, like they were starting that thing like Netflix.
Right.
And we sold the show called Those Who Can't. We got a holding deal out of it after they had aired it because we got the highest consumer rating out of it because they aired them and then people on Amazon Prime rated them and we had the highest consumer rating, but we didn't have any big names attached to it other than like Rory Scovel and Kyle Kinane, who are like big in comedy but not household names, not like
Right.
John Goodman had
Right.
one of his own
Sure.
shows. And so they put us on a holding deal and we wrote 6 more episodes of the show. And then they said they passed, and now we've continued shopping it. It's still alive in an odd
Sure.
limbo.
Yeah.
That show I've been joking, is that red eye on the Terminator's face. Like when you think that the metal press has like squashed at its final time, it just
It comes to life. Yeah.
So
It's in a state of constant turnaround.
yeah. And then we just pitched another show with the dudes from Earwolf. They make like Comedy Bang Bang on IFC, and Between Two Ferns with Zach Galifianakis.
Is that right?
Yeah, and we partnered with them. We've been working with them on a project that Adam and I had wrote, where we play these 2 asshole Amway salesmen, which is based on a sketch that Adam and I had done for a while, where we would walk out on stage and it looks like we're going to do a sketch, but then we just aggressively try to sell the crowd Amway in the middle of the show. Yeah, which is super rad idea. Nobody ever knows what to think because we're like,
It's
It's
just
like they're
coming
waiting
out
for
of
the
nowhere.
funny, and
yeah,
then it's
yeah,
like,
and then they just get aggressively pushed products, and it starts to work out. It always does well because we're way more excited about it than we should be, and then I start to come unglued.
you're like the ShamWow guy.
Yeah, but like Adam tries to play it straight, but then my character starts to just come apart at the seams. Like I just start to lose it.
Nice.
And because in the middle of it, I try to get everybody riled up, and then I'm like, now who's coming with us? And inevitably in the crowd, people laugh, but nobody raises
Nobody's
their hand. And I'm like, I'm sitting here and I'm watching you all nod your fat fucking faces. And then Adam's like, whoa, bring it back in, bring it down. So he plays kind of the straight guy in it. And so we've been working on that. We're always trying to sell television, which is the best way to do it. So
Well, through Funny or Die, you guys have reached a pretty substantial level of success. Yesterday, you guys were front page.
yeah, we've been getting a lot of front page love from them for projects that we put out, and we've talked to them quite a bit. I mean, they say they're fans, so it's hard to tell with LA talk. Everybody's a fan of yours,
Right.
Oh, big
Well-
fan.
At least there's a follow through with slamming you on the front page.
yeah,
I mean,
'cause
exactly.
that's a huge website. I hit that website at least once a day myself.
Yeah. We post a lot of stuff. We've been part of their community now for a little bit. They have a community on Facebook, so they'll post it through their community, and then on YouTube. They're great people. They've always been supportive of the stuff that we put out, and which is cool because that was always our goal. You guys know. I mean, Adam Catenholland has this beautiful bit right now about what people think of states or cities that aren't New York and LA. You know?
Right.
And and in it, he's like, when you guys fly over, we run out of our house with our ski equipment and we try to signal the airplane to get your attention. And he's yelling up at the plane, what is the internet? And then we just go back to grinding our asses on the carpet like dogs. We don't know what we're doing. Because there's this impression that we must not have. You know,
We're
why
just a
do you
flyover.
We have nothing
why
else,
are you
yeah.
still living there?
Right.
And we wanted to prove I think for a long time that like you can be you can create and make waves if you just
6 years, trust me, I know.
yeah. But you know, I mean,
Yeah.
sometimes it is like standing on a rooftop
I
and
get
screaming.
that call every once in a while. Very very similarly to to the show where I think Denver's it, and then I get that call from an ex partner in L.A. or somebody, and they're like, if you would just bring that to L.A., we could make something happen with it. And I'm like, I'm in Denver.
Yeah.
There's a lot of great. I think there's a lot of great stuff that's coming out of any other different kinds of cities besides New
Sure.
York and LA, and but there is always that mentality that we're kind of like 10 years behind anybody else in a lot of ways, and just it's always it gets lost on me, especially when you talk about the music scene or even comedy, any kind of entertainment and stuff. It's like, well, we're not all just a bunch of hayseed hicks around here.
Yeah.
Just hey, give us your L.A. New York fodder,
Yeah.
and we'll make the best of it.
Yeah.
You couldn't drag me onto a horse.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, I think we're all trying to constantly beat that Cowtown
Yeah.
perception, and especially in music and in performing arts, because I think there is that feeling, and that's what we've always tried to. That's why we started the Grawlix. We flew people here, and then as comics started coming here a lot, now like. If we have, say, a Kyle Kinane or Sean Patton or comics like that come to the shows, they usually stay extra days. Like now we're finding that they'll do the show, but they're
Chappelle
here
just
for
stayed for like a week and a half.
It's a great
Yeah.
city to be
It
in. I
is.
mean,
He
the
popped up
weather kicks
everywhere.
ass. Yeah, he played 11
Deer
days.
Pile, he was here.
Yeah, he went up to the
Just-
Deer
yeah,
Pile,
just hung
just
out
popped
there.
in at mics and stuff, because this is one of the best comedy cities in the country. I mean, there's good crowds. The people are young. It's a hip audience. So
One of my very good friends, Steve McGrew, lives here.
I love
and,
Steve.
and loves to do comedy here.
Yeah,
I mean, he flies out and does L.A. or Vegas, and then he does cruises and stuff. But he loves to do comedy here.
Yeah.
He hits me up all the time. We talk about doing just little one-off shows because it's so much fun to do comedy in Denver.
it is. It's I think part of what makes it fun, and we've talked about the same. Josh Blue, Josh is the kind of guy that's never left, and this is that city. Like, a lot of the people don't leave. I mean, there's more examples of people who had success and had Comedy Central Presents or something like that, and then didn't leave because this insulated and insular environment makes for a very unique style of comedy, because there is no industry watching you at the shows.
Right.
A lot of times what you get in a lot of cities where you're trying to adapt your stuff so it has a place on television, which is true, but there's not going to be any
Everybody's
of that
looking
here.
for that 30-minute Comedy
Right.
Central special.
Right, but everybody knows here that there's not going to be that.
Right. So you can work shit out here.
Yeah, and you can be real dark and real off.
Sure.
And it breeds a kind of a particularly aggressive opinion on certain things, So I think that's why I've stayed.
I went to a show that Adam Caton did like 3 days before he did Conan.
Yeah.
And he was working, making sure his stuff was legit, but he also, towards the end of the show, hit some of the stuff that you knew he couldn't even come close to on Conan.
Yeah.
He let loose and just like got it out of his system and had a good time.
Yeah.
And it's those moments that I love about Denver, that comics will come here. Ben was just here.
Kronberg.
Yeah, for a long time as well.
Yeah.
He stayed extra days, and I know that he was around working on some stuff that he couldn't do in L.A.
Yeah. You get to do a lot more time here. I mean, you are being stunted in some ways too. I mean, it's not all great.
Right.
I go to LA and I have trouble. I'm getting better at it, but showcasing is something that they do constantly. They're always
Hot
doing
7.
5 to 7 minutes. I can't do that. Like people
You're a
are-
long form comic, though.
Right. But exactly that. I had to be a long form comic. I mean, 8 months in, I was headlining one-nighters. You know, you had to be able to do, to go to Wyoming, to go to Mingles and Gillette, you know, and like,
boom.
Yeah, that's
Mingles,
dude. 2 nights of some of the, you're doing.
My ex is from Gillette.
Yeah.
I know.
And
Where's
they're
Gillette?
all.
Gillette, Wyoming. Go north on 25 to, is it like 40?
Yeah.
And then you
cut
go
up.
east like an hour.
It's about five or 6
It's
hours.
like 5 hours from here.
It's about an hour from Sturgis.
Okay,
or so.
you go to Douglas and you buy some meth, and then you go just a little bit more north, and then you go east, and then you sell the meth because you can't get a job there unless you work in a coal mine,
Right.
And you can't get a hotel there because they're all taken by the coal miners.
And the
so
meth
you need
heads.
a shit ton of money to do anything.
Yeah, I mean, it's a like those shows were some of the scariest shows I've ever done because they were
could
for
love you or
oil-
kill you.
Oh, they're all oil fields and coal
Yeah.
people. Like, and that, yeah. If you win a crowd over like that and they come up and they're like, "Man, you were funny, dude. You were real funny," you know. There's a sense of like, "Oh, I'm not gonna get killed."
Right.
Like
They will put you up as a king at that point.
Yeah,
They already have such a horribly depressing career day that they've got to.
They're just hard
Well, the
parties.
thing is,
It's hard
they're-
work.
They
Yeah.
They work like 4 straight,
Right.
and then they're off for like 3 days. They are Gillette is in just my opinion. Gillette, I love you. They are the epitome of like white trash with money
Right.
because
Yeah.
they get paid shit tons of money to work up in the
With all
mines,
the oil fields
and there's nothing to do up there.
Yeah.
So they have all this money. When they're off, they just party.
Yeah, I did. There's the biggest mall in North America. It's not the Mall of America. It's in Canada. It's called the West Edmonton Mall. It's in Alberta, Canada. The biggest one in the U.S. is the Mall of America, but in all of North America, the West Edmonton Mall is much bigger, and it's in Edmonton, Canada, which nobody realizes is the wealthiest city in Canada, and it's because it's oil sand money.
Right.
And like going to do shows there is like a big Gillette, Wyoming, because they have so much. It's poor people with money,
Right.
and they're tundra clampets. That's all the why. That's all why.
That's exactly it.
They're crew-cutted tundra clampets
Yes.
that just like
That's a
when they
great
go out,
description.
they have the jeans that have like the crosses bedazzled on the pockets and like every.
But they're ironed all the fuck too.
Oh yeah.
Creases.
Not a shirt without a sword on it. I dare you to find a shirt that does not have a sword or angel wings on it.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and they're like the worst crowds if they don't like you.
Yeah.
Like Marin was talking about it. The club is called the Comic Strip, and he was talking about how it took one guy, 3 separate moonings during one show. He was mooned 3 times by one person. Now, if you're mooned 3 times by separate people, well, that's tough. That's a whack-a-mole game. You gotta find it. But to be mooned by 3 separate people, but one person moons you 3 times and they don't throw him out of the club.
They're just good with it.
Yeah. I mean, I came out on stage and the guy at the comic strip, there was a guy in the front already flipping me off.
You walk on and
I
you shut
just
it up.
walked
Hadn't
on
even
and he's
turned
like,
the mic on.
Is this Gillette or Edmonton?
Edmonton. Gillette, I had great shows, and I partied and got in too much trouble, and I'm not allowed to go back to Gillette by my wife.
I was gonna say not by Gillette, but by
by my wife. My Gillette, Gillette was awesome. I had a good
The
time.
best
you
I
get
mean,
anything you want there.
Gillette, the best a man can get.
Exactly, totally. Because it's that type of like, it's totally like almost feels lawless in some ways.
Yeah, it's Wild West though.
Yeah, but it was a good time. I don't.
Man.
But yeah, I think we have to go out and do those shows, even here.
Sure.
It's funny. You leave Denver proper, and when you get even just out far on Colfax,
Go to
or-
Greeley. Do
yeah,
a show.
or even just far east Aurora.
Yeah.
I mean, it definitely starts to feel much more rural.
Yeah.
But I like those rooms, and I just hate. I had a person say a person who books clubs say some pretty awful shit about the middle of the country, the clubs they book. They're a big booker
Wow.
for a lot of rooms, saying that they thought that my stand-up was too smart for the kind of ignorant people in the middle of the country.
In Missouri, I'm gonna need you to dumb it down, Ben.
And I'm like, you book these rooms. These are your audiences, and you're the type of fucking asshole that shits on these people. I like
that pay you.
Yeah, I don't mind. I don't hate the Midwest crowds. I think.
And they're probably everybody's a lot smarter than they're getting credit for if they're even walking out to the comedy
I
clubs
consider us
tonight,
part of that.
Well, and I think people across the country, and not barring the Midwest or middle of the country, they will appreciate intelligent comedy because they get to enjoy it twice.
Right.
It's funny because it's funny in the room,
right.
But then like the next day they're working through it and they're like, wait, that was some good shit.
Right. And I also...
Whereas New York and L.A., they will just laugh, move on to the next thing that happened in their mind.
And
they
I
don't spend
think
an extra minute on the thought.
Right.
Forget about it.
Yeah. Forget about it. They don't even... I think people are a lot of times more genuine towards the center of of the country.
Yeah. Which could be good or bad.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm not saying that every show is great, but I think if you can win over and know how to talk to all crowds, that's a true asset. And I know a lot of people who do not like working the road because they're like, yeah, they don't get me in Indianapolis, or they don't get my comedy. Shut up. That is your
comedy
job.
Comedy is comedy.
Make your point accessible. Make your style accessible. Own it. You know what I mean? People aren't idiots.
No.
Like, they're not idiots. These are, I mean, I grew up in a rural area. My stepfather is one of the smartest people that I've ever met. You know, like, he's from a small town, but that guy can do anything. Like, I mean, he can build anything. He can disassemble and put things back together. When I'm there, I feel like a fucking moron. Like, anytime I hang out.
He's like, I'm building a ham radio. And you're like, I'm building a ham sandwich.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I'm part of a generation of operators.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know how to assemble a thing. I know how to
we can
operate.
use the fuck out of it.
Yeah, exactly.
Right here. Yeah.
But I look at my stepfather, and he like built their house.
Yeah.
My brother-in-law built his whole house for his family. If I tried to build it, oh my God, it would
fall over.
Oh God, I wouldn't even know where to begin. You dug a foundation,
right?
What the hell is like ours would just be this like kind of. It would look like a.
It would start as a tent.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
And we'd start putting 2x4s on the tent.
Exactly. It would be a refugee camp by the end of the time that we're done with it.
Got a treehouse like that in the backyard where the kids.
You've been to Ben's house? Smallpox, running rampant through it. It's just a tent.
Have you had the measles?
Yeah.
You're not going to want to go over.
Don't come to my house. It is a third world situation. But yeah, I don't know. I like. I would move out there, and I'm sure at some point for production, you have.
You're going to be
there.
forced.
Yeah, and that's okay. Like, I totally get it. But building a career, I think you can do it if you're tenacious and.
I think there's tons of entertainers and artists and you know, any number of people that are doing that now, especially in the age that we live in with the internet and the way that we can communicate with people nowadays. And I mean, you can jump on Skype and have business meetings and blah blah blah. You know, I mean, we're just in a different environment now where when our children come up, they're going to be able to make a name for themselves anywhere and be just as, you know, get whatever it is they're trying to get out there.
That's
on a huge level.
That's probably why I'm most
about
excited about having kids right now, because our parents could in no way do the shit that we do.
Right.
There's no way you could have an internet-based media station and reach people when my parents were on. It couldn't happen.
Yeah.
Now we can do this. I'm so excited that my kids will have the opportunity. You know, people bitch about the economy right now and where the world is, and I look at it from a completely different point of view. I'm so excited that it's almost come full circle to the point where our kids are going to be able to do anything they want because it's the age of the entrepreneur. Because it's not education's important. Don't get me wrong, kids, stay in school.
That's right.
Stay in school.
Stay near a school.
He's nodding. No, we already lost him. This one's lost. Let's just
he's been lost from the beginning.
But
he's good looking though, so he's got that.
You can learn to do and produce and do anything you want. if you don't want to work at Ford making bumpers,
Right.
you don't have to work at Ford making bumpers.
Right. For sure.
You know, you can create a YouTube channel and make $1 million
Yeah.
just off of your talent.
Yeah.
My 8-year-old daughter did during the Broncos playoffs this last season. Did one video, this kind of like smashing Tom Brady, and did it on her own. Within hours, she had thousands of YouTube hits.
Yeah.
already.
Yeah.
I've been putting videos up on YouTube for years now, and I still have like a total of 12 followers.
Have you looked in the mirror?
You know, yeah, it's not good,
Oh,
but
that's
you get a cute little girl. Yeah. Oh, thank you, Ben.
No, but I think what your daughter probably figured out is, because we've tried too. I think we overanalyze.
Yeah, well, yeah. Cute little
Yeah.
girls go a long way.
Or
you know,
don't
they go a lot
think-
farther doing cute little things. Than,
Don't think, just do.
Yeah,
Just film it and put it up. Film it and put it
It's
up.
got to be simple.
Well, I've got her. She's going to be in this review that I did of Crave Burgers this week, later on in the show today, and you'll see why she's just such a natural on the camera.
I
But
think-
there's so many like that, and I hate to use this guy as one of those things, but when the Justin Biebers of the world can become world famous
Can you mute
for
him?
anything,
Just fucking mute him.
No, that's what I'm saying though.
Yeah,
Think
but I mean,
about it.
there's tons
that's
of
the
those. I mean,
reality.
Bo
Sure.
Burnham in comedy is. I mean, that guy
There's
sells
guys that have
theaters.
made yeah.
Yeah, and
It's not
Dane
unlike-
Cook. I mean, but I mean, it's true.
Mute him too.
But I don't hate Dane. I think Dane did what we all wished we could have done, which is
Right.
it's the same. It's
I talk
juggalos
shit.
and
I talk shit
Yeah,
about Dane.
exactly.
I talk shit about him all the time.
yeah.
I respect the fuck out of the fact that I can't hear you behind the fence of my $5 million home.
Right.
I'm a sellout. Yep, I sold a lot.
Yeah,
We had
yeah.
that conversation last week.
Yeah.
man. Well, let's not go down that rabbit hole again.
He's a hardworking dude. I mean, whether or not I like his comedy, but there are plenty
Right.
of people that I'm friends with that maybe I don't enjoy their comedy. Adam Cain.
That hack.
Oh God, it's so pretentious.
So, what's coming up next, Ben? What do you got going on? Yeah, from what I saw, you have a couple dates actually this weekend. Or?
yeah, I'm doing the Montreal Comedy Festival again this summer, so I'm going back up, and they gave me one of my own hour show, so I had one of my own hours at Just for Laughs. So between now and late July, I'll be doing quite a few headlining dates at Comedy Works just to run that hour.
Very cool.
And then just on the road throughout August, September, there's the High Plains Comedy Festival, which will be happening again, and they'll be announcing the lineup for that. So I'll be here to do that. And
Are you doing
more
a film
writing.
on the rocks this year?
No, I probably shouldn't say this out loud, but
You can.
I don't enjoy doing stand up at Film on the Rocks.
Because the splash?
I've always enjoyed your stand-up at Film on the Rocks, man. When I've done it,
Yeah, but I
short-lived,
never
but it's
have
also-
fun doing it.
Yeah.
Is it because they're so far away?
It's just it's a cool photo op, and as an experience, I'm happy to say that I did it.
Right.
But they're not there to see comedy, and a lot of times part of the crowd, and you're yelling, and they don't want me. They want me toning down what it is that I do, and rightfully so. I'm
'Cause
not
there's
going to.
children.
Yeah, there's kids there.
It's a lot of
you know.
family-friendly stuff.
If
yeah.
it was me headlining it, it was my own date. I'm just doing it myself. Hell yeah! I mean, it's a cool ass
I
place.
would
but
think it would depend on the movie, though, actually, too, man. Because I know that this year they're showing Fight Club. They were showing The Dude.
Oh, for sure.
I mean, well, not The Dude, but The Big Lebowski, and they, stuff
You can
like
call it
that.
The Dude, I think, now.
I think everybody knows what I was talking about.
I did The Hangover one time,
Which is
Yeah.
perfect
yeah,
for you.
that was good.
See, and that seems like the spot and the time and place for it. I think the bands that they bring in too are the same way. Is there's certain bands that really fit in with whatever it is they're doing up there, and then there's some that
You can hear them talking.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, when you're up there, they're there to
Some
gather
people are
and
waiting
socialize.
for the movie
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
and hang out
Yeah.
and talk.
But, I mean, I've done it twice, and the photo op is super rad and
Right on.
whatever. But I like small, intimate venues.
Did you hear there was a shooting there last night? They
Yeah,
locked down
dude.
Red Rocks last night.
Out in the
3
parking
people?
lot.
Can't bring Nas anywhere.
Yeah, man.
You can't.
Is that
I'm
right?
sure Nas, though, like, is at an age where he was like, come on, man. You don't shoot
real?
each other. Like, I mean, he's got to be in his 40s.
He was
Oh,
probably
yeah.
like, y'all want to pay me before?
Yeah. I guarantee they watched his ass like real
yeah.
close
Oh, I'm
leaving.
sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, 3 people got shot
In the
on
parking lot.
on the exit.
Yeah.
Well, they locked the place down, right? Like at that moment, or they
You know,
tried
the-
to.
the
I don't know.
best
I
part
would be
about
interested to see what it's like to lock down Red Rocks.
The best part about it was the news interviewing all the like 17-year-old like high school girls that were at the NOS show.
Oh, really?
You know, oh my God, we were so scared and they locked it down. They said we couldn't leave and I just didn't know. I was like,
So we just went back to our 2-gallon jug of fruit punch and vodka and
God,
smoked
I wish
another
I had been
joint.
interviewed because I totally would have been like Queensbridge militia, yo, Queensbridge, what up,
up,
little
yo?
Kim, what up, Foxy Brown, what up? I would have just
so Illuminati. I got that.
Yo, no, for real though, but for real, he whipped out a pistol, started blasting motherfuckers. We was all just wilding out. We was all like, what? And just me, a white guy doing that.
Yeah.
But
If you could have been in khakis in a golf
I
shirt.
would have totally gone to that show. Like I love Nas.
Yeah,
and I would totally would have gone to
That's
see it.
awesome.
But yeah, I heard about it. My favorite part was they didn't find them until like 6th and Santa Fe, the vehicle that had been shot
really?
at.
Right.
They'd bounced that far already by
Oh,
the time
yeah.
we
Yeah,
got to them?
they found the 3 people all in the same car shot together
Yeah.
on like 6th and something down here before, and then took them to the hospital.
Yeah.
So
Which
they
is a
locked
good
down
sign
Red
that
Rocks.
you were not doing good things. Like if you don't stop and stand where you're shot, but you travel 15 miles away, and you are then subsequently caught, you were probably part of whatever bad was happening. I'm gonna go.
I'm just gonna say,
Yeah.
if I get shot, I'm the guy laying on the ground screaming for help.
Oh God.
I don't care if it's like a flesh wound. I am laying on the ground and screaming.
Oh yeah, for sure. It was. It's pretty sad, but I mean, that's part of being an American.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nowadays, unfortunately, sadly, it is.
We went and played Tijuana. The band did, and I was freaking out. I'm scared.
Well,
It's
yeah.
gonna be
What's
at night.
Tijuana like right now? Jesus,
It's fine,
man. Yeah.
totally fine. We played next door to a TGI Fridays and a Sears. I am not joking. Or it was an Applebee's.
Same
it was
thing.
An Applebee's and a Sears right next door to us. And no joke. I mean, it was
With
the
the
area.
little boy with scabs in his mouth selling chiclets out front and stuff.
Nothing. No, I did not see any of that. in
Wow,
Tijuana.
they've really cleaned that up down there.
They've cleaned up quite a bit, and what's funny is the night before we were playing in San Diego at an amazing venue called the Tower Bar, and I was talking to the bartender because I was freaking out, and I'm like, "What's Tijuana going to be like?" And he's like, well, "Where are you playing?" And I told him, and he's like, "Oh man, I mean, you're more likely to be shot in this neighborhood. This neighborhood's way worse."
Right.
And when we went there, and we told the Mexican kids that we were playing with in the band, they were like, "You're from America. Like, how are you afraid of being like violent?"
We're afraid of your ass.
Yeah. He's like, I feel more scared going to the U.S. now than, and I mean that is the perception. Like there is a perception.
We've just become that desensitized to it that now it's like, all right.
It's a different
Hey,
type
Braden,
of violence.
will you go up and open the back door, please?
It's right up top of the steps, my man.
I got him on.
Yeah, but I think that type of violence, like theirs is different.
Yeah.
Here people get shot.
Well,
there
there's
people
the
lose their
only thing you
heads.
hear about, obviously, you're only going to hear select clips, and it's usually probably the most outrageous stuff.
Yeah.
Some cartels, like, chopped the heads off 10 guys and hung them in the street. and
Yeah,
shit like that.
and then you hear about that, and talking to the other bands, that was totally how they were.
Yeah.
They were like, well, I didn't see any of that.
Yeah.
I'm not a drug dealer. Like I
Right.
don't, and American bands wouldn't go there. And when we played, best show of the whole entire time.
Nice, man.
Best. They were like jumping around. They were like way into it, singing along to songs that they couldn't possibly know. You know what I mean? They're just, like, so it was
What's the name of your band?
Spells.
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 Yeah, if you go to spellsrules.bandcamp.com. That's another thing. We're playing the Westward Music Showcase, 3 o'clock this Saturday at Bannock Street Garage.
At
playing.
Bannock Street,
nice.
nice.
Come listen to some Vacation Rock.
Now, can you list off? I mean, if you can get them all in, all the places people can find your music and comedy.
Yeah. I do this all the time. BenRoyYellsALot.com. You can visit that. You can visit GrolixComedy.com. You can find me on Twitter at BenRoy00 as well.
Spell
as on
Rolix for me.
Grolix. GRAWLIX. Which is the swear symbols in comic strips.
Cool.
Whenever a kid falls or swears, when they put the ampersand. Those are called grolics.
No shit.
But so
something new every day.
yeah. And you can find me just on Facebook. It's just a regular add me on Facebook, Ben Roy, and visit my band Spells at Spells Rules on Twitter. And
We gotta get Spells in studio at some point.
yeah,
Can
Spells
you guys
Rules.
do an acoustic set?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Let's do it.
Yeah,
You know what's
I would love to do
crazy?
that.
You remind me of a former bass player that I had in my band Spools of Dark Thread.
Oh, how do I know your band?
You look exactly like him, and I actually have it queued up. So if you want to check it out,
What is this? Is this Pools of Dark Thread?
Yeah, look over here.
right in the middle guy. His name's Josh.
You do look very similar.
No, but even on the side, it's
the
even,
guy with the Obey shirt.
it's striking.
Yeah, you're both white. You have brown hair.
No, but I kind of do. If I could grow a little bit of a mustache, I can't. But I mean, I would.
You guys have
kinda
very
look
similar
like-
features.
It's
though.
tripping me out from the side too.
Yeah, let's see it.
I couldn't find another shot
Well,
of him anyway.
he's a handsome guy. Let him know that. You know,
Good looking
genetics
guy,
did
good.
something right for him. Am I right or am I right? Bang.
Help that guy out.
But yeah, so there I am.
Comedy in Denver for you soon.
Yes, I'm headlining Comedy Works this Sunday.
Okay.
And if you use the promo code SPELLS on comedyworks.com, you get a very discounted ticket, about as discounted as it can get. So go, if you want to go to the show, just go to Comedy Works, click this Sunday show, and use the promo code SPELLS, or any of those dates.
You know
coming
what?
up.
I actually have a pass for 2 people to get into Comedy Works. And I'll give it up for Sunday night show.
Well,
Look
come
at
on.
that.
There you go.
That's
You guys
special.
could come down and hear me talk about my genitalia for
Yes, please. Man.
Trevor's into that.
I am in the know. I often, this is last question. I often wonder, because it seems like you riff a lot.
Yeah.
Like, do you go up planning on doing your set and then the crowd just takes you left and you go
No,
with it?
I tell people I'm a monologist. I know that is all pre-written.
Really?
So it's not
Even-
like doing a show with Trevor where you have all
Nothing
these
is
things
pre-written.
planned and then
Yeah,
he
he
just
gives me
throws
this.
the script out the
Gives me
window.
this, and I usually do that.
Yeah. No. That
See,
terrifies.
some of us write and work hard on this shit.
No, I because I was like a theater, like I did drama
Yeah.
in high school. I just memorize
Right.
all these long rants.
Okay.
So like and then I debut them at the Grolics, and then I put them in the set and try to figure out what'll work. But my wife knows for the 3 days prior to the Grolics, all I do is pace in the living room and recite.
Just work it
Till I memorize it, and then work the cadences so it doesn't sound like I'm
Memorized
reciting
and
it.
Well, because
Right.
I've caught your show several times.
Right.
And I mean, you even sell like the almost to the point where
everything.
you're right now in the moment.
Well, I do feel it. Like, I mean, a lot of the stuff I write about, I do believe. You know, I mean, I wrote a whole new bit about how I don't really want to participate in monogamy anymore. And I don't know how my wife
My wife
feels
likes
with
that
it.
one a lot.
She's all right with parts of it, but I just don't know that I really want to do it anymore. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and so it's
you
a
will
sort of
because
bit
you're forced.
yeah, but
But if you had a choice-
it's not even forced. It's just that we've all collectively agreed on this thing. You know what I mean? But we're all kind of looking around like this is bullshit. Right? And I have friends
I'm
that
with you there.
make fun of swingers and people like that. We all kind of laugh at them.
Sure.
But yet, my same friends are
There's
some of
a
the most
silent
staunch
envy.
atheists
Yeah.
that I know. And in the bit, that's what I say. I'm like, how can you be an atheist and hate swingers?
Right.
Doesn't that irony? I mean, you must use baby powder on your crotch. And they'll be like, why? And I'll be like, because you must chafe dry humping the last remaining pillar of Christianity. Because none of us are monogamous in here at all. We just pretend to be. And then we just gloss over varying indiscretions that we have over the next 40 years of our lives, you know, like so. But part of it is like, I am passionate about it. So like when the crowd reacts to it, then I get fired up.
Yeah.
You know, I find it sounds more like reciting when a crowd is not as on board. I tend to just
I guess
kind of plow.
I've
through
never
it.
seen you on a flat show.
Yeah.
I watch it, and it seems like you get going and get going, almost to the point where I can watch the spittle come out of your
Yeah,
mouth.
oh,
Because you just
yeah,
get
yeah,
going
yeah.
so
The
hard.
first 3 rows are my splash zone. So if you do come to a show, bring your Gallagher tarp because, or get vaccinated. One of the two, but I'm
Because
not gonna-
measles and smallpox.
Yeah, or hep. The hep's the big one. I got a lot of tattoos. Some of them done inside a dwelling.
We're probably sharing
Are you?
the same hep.
It's the same strain.
Well, Ben, thank you so much for
Dude,
coming out
thanks for
today, man.
having
We
me,
appreciate you
Absolutely.
coming out. And
Yeah.
go check Ben out at Bannock Street Garage this weekend, Westward Music Showcase.
Also Sunday.
And
And
then Sunday.
Sunday.
At Comedy Works.
At Comedy Works.
Downtown.
Yeah.
I
Check
could-
his website out.
I'll put up a post on Facebook. I do have a 2-person pass for Comedy Works.
Yeah. And also,
We'll get
they,
somebody
like
else.
I said, anybody listening can use that promo code
Spells.
Yeah.
SPELLS.
Probably a very similar discount.
Yeah. For
Hey,
sure.
I'm on your website. We got a couple of videos on the top there. We could probably take it out.
Yeah,
with
let's
one of
roll
the-
out with one of his bad boys.
One you
wait,
like
yeah,
love,
do you-
population, or
Make
no
the
one-
people.
Is there oh God.
Yeah, population,
Which one is there? One for the what other ones?
love, no enlightenment, and sobriety.
Is there really?
like
let's
sobriety a
do
lot.
Yeah, but let's do population. You can do that one. That's old though, but that's cool. Whoa, my arms! Look at my
Don't you like it on camera?
We're going to roll out with that, and we'll be right back with Michelle Blaylock.
How do I full
coming up.
screen this?
And Grim and Darling.
And Grim and Darlin is in the house now, too, as well. Check them out.
Cool, man. Thanks, guys.
Ben Roy, thank you.
Look at that little picture in picture there. Oh God, my knees are bad from jiu-jitsu.
Trying to play it. It's not playing.
Oh, you got it in picture.
No, it's not playing the other video.
No, it's not a picture. That's
Allow, you got to hit allow. It says
Allow.
allow.
That's.
That.
Well, there you go.
Let's take a step break.
I'll be right back.